you might be wondering how to know if your team really needs training. You're going, well, my team is doing okay. I don't have any major concerns. Maybe even they're doing pretty well. And so, how would I know if training is actually a good idea? Um, I want to start with a story here. I worked with a team a couple of years ago who was a really high performing team. They were an executive team of a regional hospital. And when I came in and worked with them, we were 20 months into the pandemic. That's right. Healthcare workers, 20 months into the pandemic. They had been an exceptionally high performing team prior to that time. But at the time that I came in and started working with them, they were exhausted. Morale had taken a huge hit. They were individually committed to their work and to the hospital and to what they had going on, but they were struggling a lot. And so that was one way that they knew that training would be really valuable, is because they knew they had this ability to perform at a high level, but their morale had taken a hit. So that's one thing. If you're looking around at your people and you just don't see the energy level that you're used to seeing, training can often have a big boost on morale and energy. Um, it's also a great idea to ask your team, what could you use right now? What would help you do your job better? Now, they're not likely going to come back to you and say training, but they might say, you know, I'm not really great at dealing with conflict with the people that I supervise, or I'm not really sure how to best go about having these evaluation meetings that I'm supposed to be having. Or I'm not really sure the best way to organize my day to day work. I'm not getting to everything because I'm not really sure how to do that. Um, all of those give you ideas of things that good training might help your team be able to actionalize. Um, you can also use a survey. Sometimes a survey will give you information that people are not willing to give you verbally. They're a little nervous, and a survey can be anonymous. So that's a good way to kind of find out. One thing to think about though is that if you do decide to do some sort of training, having a specific goal in mind is really valuable, because then you will know, first off, the trainer that you hire and work with will know what you're trying to get to and can design training towards that goal. And you will know whether the training actually helped you get where you needed to be. So rather than just saying, yeah, I think training is a good idea at the beginning of the year, make sure and identify what is your goal for that. Some example goals might be like we talked about with the hospital team, just increasing morale and energy in general. More specific goals might include increasing collaboration across your team, training new managers. I've been having lots of conversations with medium-sized businesses who have recently added a managerial level. And the people in those roles have never managed people before, and they're really good at whatever the thing is that the business does, but nobody has ever taught them how to manage people. So that's a really good goal for training, is to train new managers to help them know how to manage and how to supervise their people. Um, my last point on this, to how to know if your team needs training, is to know that training is often most useful for teams that are doing pretty good but are interested in growing. Sometimes we wait to provide training until it's a dumpster fire, until things are terrible. And at that point, usually people are already so externally focused, they are either looking for other jobs or just getting by, that they have a really hard time concentrating on training or really thinking about growing. Teams that are doing pretty good, but have that kind of motivation to grow and to do better, make the most use of training. So if you have a team that you feel like is doing pretty good, but you'd like to see what else they can do, that might be an excellent time to invest in training.